Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be discussing how does one have a skinny fat physique, where does it come from, and also can you get rid of it? Now, this was actually a question that one of our clients, current clients now, asked me on our consultation call before signing up. So I thought, why not discuss it here with you guys? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe for more relevant content, and let's get started. So why and how does skinny fat happen? Firstly, skinny fat is the physique where you look skinny, you're small, but you're pretty soft. So you don't have that much definition in your body. You look skinny when you're wearing clothes, and then without clothes, you just look pretty soft and just small. And if you've been working out for a while and you have perhaps maybe a skinny fat physique, you've probably said or thought this line: I work out, but it doesn't look it. I don't look it. And hey, I hear you, I was there myself before, so I completely understand where you're coming from and just how frustrating this can be. So, how does it happen? Ultimately, it's a result of having little muscle mass or losing muscle mass, and therefore also seeing your metabolism slow down, and whilst you're still trying to eat the same amount of food, and therefore actually seeing yourself gain some body fat in the process. And this over time causes you to look skinny fat because you're losing muscle, you're losing what's going to give you that definition in your body, and the more muscle mass you do have, the higher your metabolism will be. So when you lose that muscle mass, your metabolic rate is going to slow down, and if you're still eating somewhat the same in terms of calories, naturally that is going to put you in a slight surplus, and you are going to end up putting on some body fat, and as a result we end up looking skinny fat. And now the two main reasons as to why perhaps you have found yourself in this position could be: number one, you have been dieting your whole life. You're a chronic dieter, like all you can remember is calorie deficit, perhaps starting with a binge and restrict cycle, but always going back to that dieting mindset. Now what happens when you're constantly dieting is that your body adapts. It gets used to the low calorie intake, and that's what it needs to survive and to function. And it is very hard, obviously, to stay at that lower calorie intake. So what happens is naturally you will have times where you're eating over, or you end up binging, or you just go out and you can't really stick to your diet, and you end up putting on body fat just by trying to eat perhaps just a normal amount of food for a human being. But your body's been so used to just being deprived and being just dieting all the time that it's very hard now to get your metabolic rate to be firing at a more sustainable rate. Number two is you've never followed a proper resistance training program. So perhaps you've always done HIIT, a lot of excess cardio. Perhaps you have tried lifting, but you've never really dived into lifting heavy, progressive overloading, and doing so with good form and for a good period of time. And therefore, this means that, again, you have not put your body in the best position possible to be building on muscle, which is going to create you that defined look, and therefore you end up looking skinny fat, right? Because you don't have enough muscle mass, and with less muscle mass, again, we come back to the metabolic rate. Your metabolic rate is not going to be as fast as someone with a high percent of muscle, and therefore you simply cannot eat as much as them. And naturally, when our maintenance calories are a bit lower, sometimes it's hard to sustain, and we end up perhaps eating more, and we end up putting on body fat, and therefore as a result, again, we end up looking skinny fat. So if this sounds like you, how do we change things? Can we change things? The answer is, of course, yes. Regardless of where you are right now, how you're looking, what you've done on this fitness journey, how long you've been on this fitness journey, you can transform your body. Now, a few things are going to obviously play a role in just how much you can transform your body, how quickly this will happen. Number one is genetics. And it's one of those things where I know it's shit to say because obviously we can't change our genetics, but I think it's also important to recognize that, hey, our genetics are really going to determine the speed at which we can transform our body, the extent to how much we can transform our body, and it's something just to keep in mind. Having coached, so many females around the world, I've seen with my own eyes, like the methods we use, everything is completely personalized and adapted to really meet each individual where they're at, taking into account their genetics, their lifestyle, and all of that. But people still progress at different rates because of their genetics. Some people end up putting on muscle so much quicker and more easily than others. Sometimes that is due to having higher testosterone in their system. Naturally, some people just have high testosterone, some females, and some people just have lower testosterone, but other things such as like cultural differences. So I've seen that, some clients, they touch a bit of weight and you just see so much rapid progress. And for others, they really have to grind and spend longer. And you know what, at the end of the day though, like you still can transform your body if you are willing to put in the work, regardless of how much work it is, you can transform your body. But what happens is a lot of people get discouraged, or they just never have had the right plan in place so they feel like it's out of limits for them. And I really hope if you take anything away from this video is that it is not out of reach for you. You can transform your body with the right plan and support and obviously time. Now, I'll actually share some of my personal journey with you guys because, you know, growing up, especially with Asian genetics, I was pretty small. I was skinny fat. I had very little muscle and I just wasn't very happy with my body. Like, I'm gonna say I wasn't very confident. I literally had no self-belief. I don't really enjoy the gym because I don't really know what I was doing. I had no proper plan. So there was nothing really motivating me because I couldn't see myself getting stronger or like progressing in certain areas. So it's very hard to continue showing up when you're walking into gym being like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I kind of put a plan together from YouTube or Instagram and I'm kind of questioning things because again, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So here is kind of when I first started. I had already been lifting or gymming for a while, but again, it wasn't consistent. I wasn't really eating enough. I was very much under eating. So that was kind of how I looked for many years. And to be fair, I was working way harder then than I am now. Like, I have way better of a lifestyle now. Whereas then I was very much like, gym is everything, gym, tracking my food. Like, I was very much obsessed and it was not healthy, not improving my life quality. And the worst thing is I wasn't really getting the results I wanted to. Okay, fast forward a few years, I realized that I needed to actually just start lifting heavier, actually take rest days, a lot of different things, have a progressive plan for myself, actually be eating more and to work on improving my metabolism, going through a building phase where, yeah, I saw myself put on a bit more body fat. I wasn't comfortable, but I knew that if I wanted to change, I had to change my methods. Like, I had to get a bit uncomfortable. You are going to have to lean into discomfort for the further good. So now we are here. So this is after, I would say, like maybe like 2-3 years of proper training, a few cutting and building phases where it was a good year, half year to 1 year where I was eating a lot, I was having maintenance phases as well, obviously travel and all of that, just living life, but really prioritizing lifting heavy, enjoying the journey and not focusing on, oh, I can't wait to cut, oh, I can't wait to reach this weight, or I can't wait to look that way, but focusing on the now. What I need to do today, how much am I lifting today, how much can I eat today, what am I going to eat, like how can I look after my recovery, how can I create this into a lifestyle so that I no longer feel obsessed and rather it's something that elevates me. And because of that, it's allowed me to actually create consistency, always just be really onto it, be disciplined. I'm not always motivated. That is just, motivation does not like last. Something to know, but I can stay disciplined because I know my bigger why, I know the mission, I'm focused on the journey, not that end goal. So here we are now today, obviously still loving training. I've kind of changed my training approach a little bit more now, working on a marathon as well, half marathon, just because I want to work on my running. And I'm in a place where I'm pretty happy with how much muscle I do have. Of course, still want to build the glutes, still want to build those legs because what girl doesn't want nicer legs and nicer glutes, I guess. But because I have really dedicated so much time towards just building, I'm not really fussed with like adding in running and things that perhaps may affect my recovery or my ability to really push myself in my resistance training and my lifting. But if you are new in this journey, I really would prioritize that lifting and just make sure that you have a lot of energy and strength saved up for those workouts rather than doing excessive cardio. But again, it's important that you have that balance and you have those things that you really do enjoy. So if you do enjoy runs, make sure you still incorporate it, but make sure you have a plan that also puts your body in the best place to be putting on muscle efficiently and effectively, looking after your recovery and just balancing it all out, because it's not about just doing more and more. It's about doing what works best, quality over quantity. So those are the two kind of comparisons of where I kind of started, where I am now. And you know, many of our clients started in similar positions where they were very much skinny fat and just have been running in circles doing YouTube workouts, HIIT, F45, Orange Theory, all these guys, and they just weren't sure how to kind of get rid of that physique and just kind of elevate themselves to tone up, to build a body that they really felt confident and strong in. And we've been able to do that, which has been really amazing. It's definitely, you know, a journey that cultivates a lot of willpower and discipline, and it does take time, but it is so rewarding being able to see yourself transform your body in that way. So then if we were to look at, well then how do you change your body composition, right? So it's all well and good looking at my journey and perhaps our clients, but how do you go about starting this transformation, this body recomposition for yourself? So let's break it down into two areas. Number one is training, number two is nutrition. If we look at training, you want to be, as I said, prioritizing proper resistance training. What I mean by proper resistance training is not you creating a random program that you found on YouTube or Instagram and being like, now I am lifting at the gym. and then just going about it, but making sure that your plan has been tailored for you, your body, your goals, what your recovery ability is, because everyone is going to be different. Some people can do 5 workouts, 6 workouts a week, and they're completely fine. Some do 3, some do 2, completely up to you and what your lifestyle looks like and the demands of your energy on other areas. Number 2 part of training is making sure that your form is correct. So many of our clients, basically we go through everyone's videos, exercises, and many of them have been to the gym before. Some of them are complete newbies, but regardless, there are always things in their form that can be improved on, because it's very hard to know exactly what to do if you have just watched people on YouTube, because firstly, how do you know that they're doing things correctly? So we go through everyone's forms and we realize there are so many things such as your tempo, the way that you are controlling the weight, what's going on in your head in terms of the cues, that mind and muscle connection, so many different things that are really going to affect your progress, because just doing 1 rep of an exercise is very different from actually doing it, like actually having everything in place, right? Again, it's the quality of your workouts, not the quantity, okay? So really make sure that you are prioritizing resistance training, lifting heavy, progressively overloading with correct form and execution there. Now, number 2 is obviously nutrition. So with nutrition, if you are trying to build muscle first to get rid of the skinny fat physique, you do need to be eating in a slight calorie surplus. Unless you are a complete newbie, then you do have the advantage for, the first few months of maybe being in a slight deficit or maintenance, and to be building on muscle and losing body fat at the same time. However, the most effective way, and for most people, is actually being in a slight surplus, really dedicating some time towards building. This is something that I really did not do for the first few years of my training, and it's what a lot of people don't do. They think that if I continue under eating, I'm going to get my dream body, and it's not the case. Like, you are going to have to be in a slight surplus, and with that, yeah, you're going to see the weight go up a little bit. You may see yourself put on a little bit of body fat, but remember that this is you putting yourself in the best position to then cut and actually have muscle to cut down into. Now, in terms of nutrition as well, it's not just, your calorie intake, but also make sure that you are prioritizing your protein, okay? So try to aim for 1 gram per pound of lean body mass. With your protein, it doesn't matter what source of protein it's coming from. Try to obviously opt for the kind of whole foods, like your chicken, fish, meats, tempeh, tofu, seitan, whatever diet you have. And then protein powder is obviously a really easy way to supplement as well, but just make sure you're trying to hit your protein targets there. That really is, again, going to help you build muscle and recover from your workouts there. So those are the 2 areas that you really need to focus on if you are trying to tone up and to change that skinny fat physique. Once you build on the muscle, that is where then you can focus on losing body fat. That is where you're really going to see your body change. So I hope that this was helpful, and I'm quickly going to run you guys through some client examples here of some transformations that we have achieved together. Now, I'm so proud of these girls, and again, they came to us with a few problems and challenges. Number 1 being I feel like I'm running in circles. Number 2, I don't know whether I should be cutting or bulking, and I find myself just hopping between the 2 and ultimately, again, ending up nowhere because I have no idea actually what I'm supposed to be doing. Sometimes I'm overeating, then sometimes I feel like I'm undereating and restricting, and it's just this endless cycle. For some of them, it was all I do is hit, and I just don't have the best relationship with exercise or food. I become very obsessive, and they're doing all this hard work, right? They're putting in all this effort, but it's just not with the right plan in place. And since working together, they've been able to completely transform their bodies in a time frame way shorter than they've spent themselves, whilst actually doing less but more quality work, bring back more time for themselves to do other things in life, because believe it or not, a lot of us don't live at the gym and we live other lives, a lifestyle. So yeah, I hope that this can inspire you as well to kind of recognize, regardless of where you are starting from, regardless of what you've been through, that it just really does come down to the right plan, support and accountability, and obviously time and consistency. So I hope that this can inspire you. Now, if you do need some help in terms of toning up and you feel like you are that skinny fat physique right now, message me over on Instagram, which is cz.fit, and I'm more than happy to flick you over some free resources, some 3-day workout guides, and just resources about how you can tone up. So that's cz.fit. Reach out to me over there, and more than happy to flick you over some free resources. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and join us in this community. And I'd love for you just to pop down in the comments what you took away from this video, so that I can also know what's helping you guys. What other content would you like help on? Any questions that you'd like me to cover? And other than that, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day or night, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.